3 of the ILR Season 5 Championship. You join us at night in Sakhir Circuit for round 3 of the Season 5 Championship, ILR 3. We're going to get straight into the 18-minute qualifying session as we get our telemetry enabled. Looks like some drivers starting on the mediums, although they'll probably change the tyre compounds available tonight, softs, super softs and mediums. Lexi just coming out of the pit lane there now. We'll find who's leading. It's a long time there, but it looks like Menace is going to be leading us out onto the track. This is a 15-minute turn circuit. DRS on the medium turn. So he will be looking to set his lap, his own lap on the mediums, so he can go for a different strategy if he qualifies within the top 10. Turn 11 now, which opens out into turn 12. Slowest downforce of these cars that comes in handy. Through to turn 13, quite heavy braking zone. And out onto the small back straight where it heads into turn 14, and then the very small kink of turn 15. Please let me know in the comments down below if the mic audio is not great. But anyway, we're going to join up Pogo on his hot lap. He's got his DRS and DRS are labelled. Into turn 1, heavy braking. Then through turn 1, turn 2 on the left hand side. And turn 3, but opening it up again. Heading towards turn 4. Unfortunately, I missed the Grand Prix earlier as I was out all day. Turn 4 into turn 5, followed by left-handed turn 7. That's the same one on there, and then turn 9, very easy to lock up to. Which leads on into turn 10. The exit is of paramount importance as a turn 10. Due to the DRS and becomes very long straight as well. Then at turn 11, got to get this one perfect. And at turn 12, sometimes drivers come to lift off the legs, taps on the brakes there, then good heavy braking into turn 13, turn 14 though. Sorry, I think I've got my audio too loud. There you go, is that better? Okay, it is. That's going to be Corey taking provisional pole there. It's TMC Scuba already out. That was the yellow flags earlier. Yeah, so Corey's got provisional pole with a 127.6. Flexi now heading out of the final turn, nearly running wide there. Hopefully we don't see a corrosion. And that's a 138.4, so he's very slow that lap. He'll probably be going for a second one. He has got the medium, so he can do that. That's CR7. He's warming up the tyres. Hopefully that's loud enough. So you can actually hear me now. This is Slender Man coming through the final 2 turns now. You've got to be careful of the pit entrance here as it's very suddenly off to the right. And that's 5th place right now for the McLaren. Although that could all change. It's still 13 minutes to go here of qualifying. And here comes CR7. He's not on the fastest of laps. 131.1. So just 2 off the bottom. This is CBR7. He's on an out lap. And Skyzy in sector 2 right now. Also, I believe, on an out lap or an in lap. So far, it's going to be Corey on top, followed by Zach, Cayman, Archie squeezing in there in front of Lawmans, then Carriage, Slenderman, FC Game Boys, Cohen, Brumadinho, Neas. Oh, Lawman's taking provisional pole there. And there goes Zach in that 3rd. carriage heading through turn 13 now. Yellow flags in sector 1 and sector 3. Has someone gone wide on the exit of the final couple of turns, or have an issue into turn 1? Not too sure. All the brake marker boards seem to be in place. There's a slender man on in that. And carriage seems to be going to the pits as well. Kern leaving the pit lane there, but this is Brumadinho off to set another fast lap. Almost out of ERS as he heads down the straight across the line. It's going to be 11th for now. Although the two can't get ahead of carriage then. So that's Lawman's there. The Force India ahead of the Haas, but not by much. Lawman's on top for now, although that could also all change. Yeah. I guess Zach's still not improving. I think he was 1,000th of a second off there. In fact, we'll have a quick look at the race director. I think he was 1,000th of a second off there. No, he'd improved, sorry. Got that wrong. But we'll return back to qualifying. So we're still waiting on the two Alfa Romeos. In fact, Skies are coming across the line there for 8th. The two Alfa Romeos, just one left. And then Seb in the Ferrari gets a lap, as well as Mr. Costa, who's on his outlap, and Corboy. I'm not sure whether he's... No, he's on his outlap, I believe. No, he's not. He's on his hot lap. We're right on board with him as we head through the final couple of turns. The final couple of turns, then it goes Corboy. DRS activated, and it's going to be 14th. It's not the greatest lap, but 1,000th of a second off 13th, just behind just behind Mata there. Very close between those two drivers. We've got Mr. Costa through sector 1 now. We're going to be on board with him for a bit now. Yeah, so just Mr. Costa yet to set a lap. He's on the mediums now, but it looks like all drivers apart from Cayman are on the mediums. That's an interesting call for strategy. Maybe the drivers all opting for a one-stop apart from Cayman. Mate through the final sector onto this straight. Some drivers saying it's better to send 7th gear along the straight across the line. It's going to be 5th, so quite a good lap there from the Force India, and he squeezed in front of Cayman there. It's like Game Boys and Slenderman all on hot laps. They've got ERS in mode 3. Through turn 13. Oh, and that's not gone well for QVR Game Boy. Sorry, I didn't see that. He's clearly just lost it there. Very easy for the back end to kick out. I was looking for the standings actually, so I wasn't quite looking at that. Unfortunately, that's QVR Game Boys. He's going to be... Slenderman going into the pits actually, so QVR Game Boys is going to have to settle that 128.2. You can see by looking at the timings just how close it is between the drivers here. Cowboy about to go off on a lap, I believe. Here comes Cayman through the final turn. Bit of a front right lock up in the Williams, but out of the exit. What can he get? He's got the DRS activated. And that's going to be provisional pole, but he is on the super soft, remember. And he's got that by just over a tenth of a second, so very close here. Some other drivers on out laps. Here comes Cowboy then on his hot lap. So right now, CR7 consistent finishes of second and second means he's on top with 36 points, just 1 point ahead of Corey, who's in fifth right now, and we're watching him now. Just 0.03 of a second behind Zach. He's going out on the mediums again. Will he improve as he comes across the line? And he's going to be second. So the Mercedes just behind the Williams. That's not something you'd see in real life. Yeah, I did miss the Grand Prix. I was also watching my friend Morgan Short race in the 24 Hours of Silverstone in a Citroen C1. Very interesting race, actually, very good. But then in third, it's going to be in the championship standings. Zach, he's finished sixth and third, and he's at 12 points behind Corey. It's quite a big difference between the second and third. And then behind him is Mata with 18, Mealy Metzfan with 15, and Flexi with 12. Senderman with 12. Then behind him is Flexi with 10, Neas with 9, Brumadinho with 7. Looking forward to the race tonight then, it should be a good one. As CR7 on the exit, he's on the soft, so interesting strategy call from him then. Very different to what the other drivers are doing. Interesting call there. Then in 10th in the standings is Lawmans. He's done a lot of practice tonight. You can see that showing it through the qualifying times. He's currently in third, although that is likely to change with drivers going out on their second salvo of lap times now. Just going to check something quickly. There we go. Oh, he's gone slow there, and I think he may have made an error on that lap. So I'm going slowly there. Flexing on that lap, heating up those tyres. Skyzy on an out lap. It's 4 minutes 30 then. This is Kern. Currently in 17th, looking to improve. That's why they're on the softs. The soft tyres should help him. Brumadinho in the garage still. As CR7 going through sector 3, about to go off on his hot lap. So far. CR7 about to go off on a lap then. So 2 rounds gone. The third round this evening. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it last week as I had I was away on holiday. Then after this, we have Spain. Following that is Austria. Then Great Britain. Then Germany's round 7. Round 8 Italy, round 9 USA, round 10 Japan, and Brazil will round off the calendar this season. I don't know, a bit funny there, it's like Japan. That's because I was thinking Japanese Grand Prix. Anyway, CR7, will he improve? Heading through sector 2 now. This is where Game Boys lost it earlier. Those curbs, I think, may have been what's done him around. Actually, he's up 0.4 of a second through that sector. Through the final couple of turns, then can CR7 claim pole position on the softs? He's gone up a grade of tyre softness, and will that improve his lap time massively? Yes, it does, as he takes provisional pole by over half a second. Cayman will be out on an outlap trying to defend that, as Sky Z is in 5th. Behind him is Zach. Zach coming across the line, not moving up. Then Mr. Costa's on the outlap. Archie in sector 1. Cash in 11th right now, as Slenderman's going across the line. 128.055 in 13th. There's Mulu Mets fan out as well. This is Kern across the line. It's going to be at 2nd position. What a move there. Extremely fast lap from him. Also on the soft, so it looks like all the drivers have decided to go on the soft. And there's 128.404, I think that was. Right, currently in last. No, 403. CR7 obviously going slowly. He's set his lap. Came in through sector 1. There's yellow flags in sector 2, and I think that's the Rebel, the Haas going slowly there. Just let the other drivers through. Corey's on a hot lap. Look how far over to the left he's going, trying to maximise the line he can get through there. Quite a tricky move there. He's still in the track though, and look, you can see he's taking all of the track and some through here. Really extending those track limits, pushing them. Testing how far he can push them. So right now the top 4 all on soft tyres. Could it be a top 5? Can Corey get ahead of Cayman? Slenderman moves in there. Corey taking provisional pole with a 126.5. He looks like he might be going for a 2nd lap. This is Naas in sector 3. Behind him is Brumadinho. Through the final couple of turns, then goes Naas. Can he improve? And yes, it is. It's going to be 5th. So Cayman dropping down the order on the super softs again out of the final couple of turns. Just 3 seconds left of the session. He's not going to be able to set another lap, and he's going to be in 10th, sandwiched between Mr. Sky Z and the Mealy Mats. Here comes Archie through the final couple of turns. Also on the soft, all the drivers started on the mediums, put their bankers on there, and I've moved over to the soft. He's in 11th now. Seb in sector 2, about to go through to sector 3, not extending track limits, but seeing how far he can push them. Very close to getting a lap invalidation now, unless he has actually been invalidated. He's got 127.8 right now. He's on the softs as well. Where can he improve to? He's in 16th. Also, Scuba not even being able to set a lap time, which is unfortunate for him. There's a bit of disruption up at the top. CPR7 improving to 10th. CR7 retiring from the session. We've got Cowboy through the final couple of turns. There's the yellow flags. And across the line, it's going to be at 12th. Now we've got to see Naas. Naas heading through the final couple of turns. We're also going to watch out for Lawmans. Lawmans currently in 2nd. Staying in 2nd with a 126.16. And Paget improving to 3rd. Now it's just Mr. Costa we're waiting for, and he is currently in 6th, and he's not going to be improving this lap as he goes into the pits. I hope you're all looking forward to the race this evening, because I know I am. And he's retired. Luckily, we don't have to watch him get put back in the garage. And that's his team. Looking very ecstatic to be here. Now then, time for the race. But first, we'll have to run down the grid order. And it's going to be Corey starting on pole position, followed by Lawmans, Naas, Zach, CR7, Costa, Mr. Costa, Slenderman, Matta, Cohen, Carriage, Seb, Cowboy, Millionets fan, Archie, Cayman, Mr. Skyzy, Brumadinho in 17th, and then Flexi in 18th, 19th will be Game Boys, and without a time will be Scuba, unfortunately crashing out towards the beginning. Just noticed Skies hasn't got the greatest safety rating. No, in online lobbies. Things always happen. It's going to be a night race tonight. The first of the season. The drivers selecting their strategies and refining their setups before we get started tonight. Looks like it should be a dry race. I can't quite tell if the sky's overcast. Could that bring some rain? Will be interesting. But I think we're in for a dry race, especially as we're out in the desert this evening. Just waiting on a few more drivers before we can get underway with the warm-up lap. It's going to be green light for the drivers. We'll get our telemetry ready. This is Corey, Lawmans, Naas, Zach, CR7, Mr. Costa, Slenderman in the McLaren. In the Toro Rosso is Matta, in the Renault carriage in the Red Bull. Then the Ferrari, or the other Ferrari is Seb. Then the Alpha is Cowboy. Emilio Metzvan in the other Renault. And in the first Williams is Archie, the second Williams Cayman. Skyzy in the other Alfa Romeo. Then in carriage's teammates Renault is Rumadinho. And in the next McLaren it is Flexi. Game Boys in the Toro Rosso, and Scuba in the Haas. Should be in for an excellent race this evening. Hopefully there won't be any turbo failures to ruin the race lead for a race this evening. And like there was in the real life Grand Prix. "15 turns here in the Bahrain International Circuit." Let me know your predictions in the comments down below, because I'm always interested to hear those. Corey disqualified from the session. That might compromise him a bit. That'll mean his brakes and tyres aren't at optimum temperature, but heading onto the straight now for the last time before the race gets underway here this evening for ILR3. Lawmans in the Force India. How long will he be held in position is the question. Scuba heading in just behind all the other drivers. Already held for 10 seconds is Lawmans as the drivers pull into their slots. Try and get a good camera angle. It's 5 red lights. And away we go as Cowboy gets a jump start penalty, 10 seconds. He's going to be up 11 places, although those will all be gone straight away. Corey down a place, Lawman's down 2 places. Corey down 2 places. Lawman overtakes him. That's a Ferrari ride. That's the Ferrari of Zach Wide as Mr. Costa tries to go past Naas. Side by side, it's going to be 3 abreast actually into the next turn. The Ferrari stealing the inside line and holding on to it. It's not been the greatest start for Naas. He's down 3 positions. There's nearly contact between Zach and Mr. Costa as Mr. Costa goes wide, giving the opportunity for the Mercedes to go round the outside, but Mr. Costa trying to get his nose into Zach. We've got Paga Naas through turn 10, not quite making a move there. Down the order though, there's a lot of changing position, absolute sea of cars from this camera angle. We've got the 2 Renaults possibly side by side into the next turn. It doesn't look like it's going to be quite though, as the Williams of Archie goes down the inside of Kern. Has he got the position into turn 13? It looks like he will do. Yes, he does, as there's a Haas wide and the McLaren wide just behind him. Flexi trying to go around the outside of Kern, but not quite making it. Brumadinho getting overtaken by Scuba. There, we've got Flexi. He's going to take a peek down the inside of Kern into turn 14 as ahead. Archie goes wide. That's going to compromise him. So does Cohen. And now the slipstream all to play for, as that's Carriage going into the pits now. Here goes Archie down the inside of Skyzy into turn 1. He's got the slipstream to help us. He's not himself. He's not got the ERS though, as he has got the position through turn 1 on the exit of turn 2, holding on to it. He's got Milu Metsfan in front of him. The opening lap very dramatic as Carriage is in the pits. I think Corey is serving his Cowboy even serving his drive-through. Yeah, he's served it, and he's down quite considerably in the order, as down the inside goes Flexi on Skyzy through turn 8. That was a good move there, and he's got the position by turn 10. Skyzy keeping Skyzy in 12th now. Very close to receive Flexi, but up ahead is Neas on on CR7. He's not quite got the position, although he's just 0.2 of a second behind the Haas. Down the inside, he's taking a sniff. He's not quite got the room there, as DRS will be enabled at this coming lap. That will be very useful in assisting the drivers and overtaking, as Corey gets a fast lap with a 1:30.4. Norman's up one position from the start of the race, swapping with Corey. As down the inside, Ness taking a sniff, just not got the room there to really send it under braking. We've got Seb going down the inside of Senderman. Senderman getting ahead. Bit of wheel spin for Seb's going to compromise him on the exit. So I'm having to counter steer that. And Millie Metsfan ahead of Mata, but Mata could make a move down the inside. No, he's not. He's going to stay behind for now. Actually, he's got a better line. He's got more grip for the inside. Can he get it on the traction? No, he can't. Through turns 5, 6 and 7. He's going to stay behind. We've also got Archie. Archie's got a great move late on the brakes. Millie Metsman locking up ahead, touching tyres, and that's going to be a bit of a touch there for Archie, and Archie's going to drop behind Skyzy. Skyzy really capitalising on that mistake by Archie. Flexi behind as well. Contact nearly there, as Skyzy has the DRS, ERS and slipstream on Mata into turn 11. Can he make a move? He's looking down the inside. Almost contact between the Alfa Romeo and the Toro Rosso. Not quite though. Through turn 12 and the inside line. Oh, Mata spun it, and he's almost in the barriers. And yes, he is. Is he out of the race? Not quite, but that's going to be some heavy front wing damage for the Toro Rosso. Really costing him there, as now Flexi just behind Scuba, and there could be Brumadinho trying to help himself through there. He's very close behind the McLaren. Clean racing behind between these two guys. As ahead you can see Skyzy and Archie batting out tooth and nail, trying to break the slipstream with Scuba, but Flexi will move further to the inside. Ahead, down the inside it goes Mr. Skyzy, locking up massively. He's gone wide. That could compromise him. He cuts across the hat of Scuba, giving Flexi the position. Can Flexi get past Skyzy? It's not going to be quite possible for him, as he's going to stay behind. Brumadinho going down the inside of Flexi, getting the position, as there's fossil step there by Carriage DPNT. Flexi is trying to get it back. He'll have the inside line for the next turn. And down the inside of Cayman goes Scuba. Can he get it on the exit? Really revving the engine there, but he won't have the inside line. And you can see Kern trying to get something from that. He's trying to get it down the inside, but he's had a bad exit. Now the DRS, ERS and slipstream for Scuba as we move into turn 11 down the inside. Under braking, can he get it? It's the mediums versus the softs. Bit of contact between the two drivers, but he's going to possibly get ahead through turn 12. and it's going to be Cayman staying on top for now as Flexi tries to go down the inside of Brumadinho. Brumadinho going wide. Who's got a better exit? We've got Flexi. He's on the mediums. Brumadinho on the softer tyres. Flexi could send it down the inside as Skies goes defensive. Could we see a switch back from Brumadinho? In fact, Brumadinho getting that position as the Lawman's behind it, Corey now. And that Skies going into the pits. Flexi was trying to get some slipstream and DRS off him. Into turn 1 though, goes Flexi. Can he get the position? It looks like a bit of a lock-up from the Red Bull. He'll have the inside line for turn 2, but forcing the McLaren wide. And I believe Flexi's got it ahead, although it's a bit of a ding-dong battle emerging here. Brumadinho sending it down the inside again. And it looks like he's got the position out of turn 4 into turns 5 and 6. Flexi will have the inside line for turns 6 and 7 into turn 8 under braking, and it's going to be Flexi actually who gets a better exit and now ahead of the Red Bull. So that might subside, that battle might subside for a bit, we're not too sure. We'll stay with them for just a moment. And that looks like, oh, and that's a Toro Rosso round, big front wing damage as he hits Cohen. That's Game Boys and Cohen for the second time. I think that's a Toro Rosso round, and that's going to be front wing damage, heavy front wing damage for Game Boys. You can see from the T-cam that there's not much carbon fibre left on the front of his car. That's not gone too well, and that's a very high downforce part of the section, so the front moves really will be scrubbing as Cayman gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. He's currently in 13th. A fantastic opening to the Grand Prix then this evening. We've been down the grid for quite a while during this race. Oh, a bit of a lock up there from Mili Metz trying to get past Slenderman. Slenderman getting the better exit. He could be gaining it to Seb. Have to wait and see how that happens. But up ahead we've got Zach close to Lawmans, who's also close to Corey. So these few drivers up top, they haven't got much screen time yet, but this is their time to shine. Could we see a move here from one of the drivers? It is very possible. Later on the break, getting much more speed. On the exit, it looks like Lawmans is pulling away from Zach though. So if we have a present principle of fast, slow in, fast out in a race, almost a fast in, slow out, which is also true, but that's not what you want to be doing. But we've got Mili Metzvan down the inside of Slenderman into turn 11. Could we see a move here? No, we can't. The 30 will not help through this sector unless Mili Metzvan can get it through turn 12, backing off slightly near, going into the back of the McLaren, and she does, or he does, touching the back of the car. Not sure if there was any front wing damage there for the driver. Shouldn't affect the race as defensively Slenderman pulls to the inside. Round the outside goes the Renault. The Renault staying ahead for now, although they're side by side. Yeah, Slenderman backing off. There may have been a legal overtake. Go into turn 1, we could see another move here. Up ahead, some emerging, although Slenderman did really drop back along the straight. We've got Scuba on Cayman down the inside into turn 1. Flexi and Bruma battling away again. Bruma staying stuck to his tail. Scuba's ahead of Cayman. So far, Scuba and Flexi have made up the joint most positions this race, both of them making up 7 since the start of the Grand Prix. Bruma is close to Flexi as well. Just the exact same gap from Zach to Lawrence, as there was some Costa to Zach for a moment there. Just noticed that. It's rather interesting to see. But we've got Kern on Game Boys now. This will be close as we move towards turn 9 and 10. Somehow not looking up, but going slightly wide, missing the apex. This could be Kern's time to shine. Better exit from turn 10 into turn 11. It looks like the inside line will help them there, as Kern is going to have to get the position, and Game Boy slotting in behind for now. We'll be looking to make up that position, possibly into turn 14. So we'll keep an eye on these two drivers for now. Although dropping back quite considerably there is Game Boys still with the front wing damage, just really not helping through that sector as Flexi gets overtaken by Brumadinho into turn 1. Has Brumadinho gone wide on the exit though? Flexi has got the better traction, but I think Brumadinho is going to get that position stuck. A good move from him, moving to the inside, trying to break that toe, and it has worked considerably. Although under braking, Flexi did make up some good ground as Coreboy overtakes Game Boys in the bottom there as well, I can see. A bit of oversteer there for the Alfa Romeo. Game Boy's really struggling through there, trying to get the front of his car turned in. We'll go back up to Flexi and Brumadinho. These two producing an excellent battle so far this race. You can see him move down the inside from Flexi. Flexi trying to take it, but Brumadinho did come off. Brumadinho was well in his rights, but around the outside, the casting line potentially through turn 12. Flexi's gone wide, nearly rejoining dangerously, and it could be Scuba benefiting from that mistake as he tries to take a look down the inside. There's three drivers getting a slipstream down into turn 14. From the inside line goes Flexi. Can he get a better exit? Scuba having a better exit as well as Flexi. Flexi now up into the 11. It's going to be 3 abreast as we move along the straight to turn 1. Scuba's had an excellent exit. He's well ahead, and Flexi losing out there. Down the inside of the Red Bull he goes, and it could be Bruma with the better exit than Flexi. Nearly contact there between the two drivers, but it's going to be into turn 5 that it gets the side. Big lock up from the Red Bull. Flexi getting forced wide, but he is ahead for now into turn 7. And Flexi running slightly wide there, not sure what happened to him. It looked like he just jerked right off the track. We've got Slenderman on Archie closing up very rapidly between those two drivers, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. Right, we'll have a look at that now into turn 11. Could there be a move here? Not quite. So the McLaren is going to have to stay behind for now. But the other McLaren also in a battle. We'll have a look at this. Although that gap is increasing through here. Oh, back from Archie, there's a DRS along the straight. On the exit then he'll have the DRS, ERS and distant toe on Archie. I think he's too far back to make a move, but I said that before and they've still made it. Well, then to turn 1, yeah, he's just so far back. Although under braking closing up rapidly, he has gone slightly wide. He's going to go for a potential switch back here, but it's not going to quite stick. And Archie is safe for now, although Slenderman is closing up again into turn 4. So I have to stay behind that for now. Just noticed at the top, those gaps seem to be closing down, especially between Lawmans and Corey. That's gone down to under half a second, so along the straight we could see a move here from the Force India, running slightly wide against Corey. Corey getting the better exit, as you can see by the gap increasing through turns 14 and 15. I think Corey will be safe from move for now. That gap, 0.6 of a second. Lawman's trying to get the distance, so as Kostic overtakes Ziak, who's gone into the pits. It'll be thrown down in the comment section. Ziak on the medium, so those could see him through to the end of the race. 18 laps left. We're lap 11 of 29 here as Kern also goes into the pits as the gap was closing. Oh, and that's a double stack for Renault, it looks like. Wait, what's happened to Kern? It looks like he's glitched. So he's just stopped in the pit lane. Not entirely sure what's happened there. Looks like some kind of glitch. Bit of a rebellion now from Callum. The gap's beginning to increase now as we do move towards the pit stop phase. Could we see anyone going for a more aggressive soft, super soft? And just trying to get it in on the other drivers. Although, I do think if they were doing that, they may have pitted by now. But possibly not. We'll have to see what happens. Because we've got Massa close to Kern. As we get my favourite angle, the helicopter angle into turn 8. Neus overtaking Lawmans as Lawmans pits. Oh, bit of wheel spin there from the Renault. That could give Massa the opportunity he needs. On to the back straight. That's the Renault of Kern gone wide. And the Toro Rosso could have that position. I think into turn 11, quite possibly. And yes, Massa ahead of Kern. Game Boys, the Toro Rosso. He's changed his front wing at long last. So hopefully he'll be able to make up some positions in the coming laps. That was a good move there from Massa. Just taking the advantage of Kern running wide and getting the position. So that's 18th for Massa for now. Fortunately, we haven't seen a single DNF as we approach the halfway point of this race. And so far, it's been an excellent race. Now, Brumadinho ahead of one of the other McLarens, but he's gaining on Skyzy. We're going to have a quick look at who's pitted. So, yeah, Bruma's pitted. So, the top 7 and Cowboy have yet to pit. Although Cowboy did run that drive-through penalty, so he's made up quite a bit of ground in there. Yeah, definitely a rebellion going on now. I've just got one thing to say. Come on, Corey. Zach is close behind Corey though, so it's fortunate that we swapped to these two drivers as Scuba and Ness pit as well. Zach into turn 1, not quite. Maybe a switchback. Going for the later apex. Whoever gets the better exit here could take 4th position or hold on to it, depending on which driver you are. Lawman's also on Mr. Costa down the inside. The two Force Indians battling. They won't want to hit each other, of course. Two teammates hitting each other, not very good. So Ocon and Perez had a bit of a history together. So the Force India never, of course, boding well. But we've got, around the outside of Mr. Costa goes CR7. Game Boy setting the fastest lap, actually, from the back of the grid. As he overtakes Kern as well. And that's CR7 getting the overtake on Mr. Costa. And Mr. Costa having a really poor exit out of turn 10. Norman's with a bit of clean air in front of him. We've got Slenderman and Brumadinho. It's the McLaren and a Red Bull back at it again. Of course, this time a different McLaren as Bruma goes defensive to the inside. Although that will mean that Slenderman has the inside line for turn 12. In fact, he's actually got that position around the outside. Just more speed at carrying him through there. Seb currently in the lead, although that may change once the pit stops. Once he pits. Now then on the exit, Brumadinho will have the slipstream, ERS and DRS, but will he get the position? He's gaining a rate of knots on Slenderman. Into turn 1, he's going to go to the inside. It's very deep inside line. Into turn 1, side by side go the Red Bull and the McLaren. Well, then the McLaren's had the inside line for turn 2, and that could be the position defended for now. We'll have to watch out as Slenderman goes defensively to the inside for turn 4. They nearly have contact there yet again. Out of the exit into turns 5, 6 and 7. Brumadinho getting ahead, just sliding ahead under braking. He's got it later and he's held on to 14th position. In fact, he's regained it. Carriage has made 2 stops so far. Because we've also got him battling with Game Boys as Game Boys sends it down the inside. The softest tyre versus the hardest tyre for this track. And not quite for the Toro Rosso, but down the inside into turn 10. Carriage locks up a bit. So Game Boy's going for the aggressive strategy that I was talking about earlier. And will it pay off? He's set the fastest lap so far. We've also got Archie and Emilio Metzvan down the inside into turn 14. It goes the Williams. A lot of action unfolding here as Ness overtakes Scoreboy. All of the gaps seeming to close up again as we've got Zach on Flexi up ahead. But we can see, yeah, Flexi's been overtaken. He's on older tyres. As down the inside goes Archie, overtaking Milu Metzvan, taking 11th. Which he'll be looking to regain and reel in some time. As you can see in the background, Slenderman and Brumadinho battling again. This is really, truly turning out to be a ding-dong battle. Round the outside into turn 4 goes Brumadinho. He's got a nose ahead, about a hair in between it for the two drivers. Just 0.02 of a second between them. But Brumadinho's ahead for now. Although it's Slenderman sending it down the inside for turn 8 into turn 9. It will be Brumadinho ahead. Could Slenderman go down the inside for turn 10? Not quite. A bit of a lock up there from the Red Bull. He's almost up the backside of Brumadinho. Of course, out of contact, that's very weird. Slenderman into turn 11. Not quite. Although Brumadinho is gaining on Sky Z now. These two drivers are actually gaining on Sky Z. You can see just how close it is. On the exit of turn 13. Who will get the better exit? And will anyone get a position? Watch it unfold from Slenderman's perspective as Brumadinho goes down the inside of Sky Z, taking the sniff, but not quite getting the room there. Callboy in the pits as Brumadinho goes down the inside into turn 1. Bit of contact between the drivers. You can see the hand of anger thrown up in Sky Z's cockpit. And on the exit, it looks like Brumadinho has got that position. So that's going to be 12th for now. Although into turn 4, Sky Z could send it back down the inside, trying to regain that position. Although the Red Bull ahead. Slenderman now behind. So Sky Z in a sandwich for now, although I think Slenderman will be looking to make a move as soon as he possibly can. Some very extreme allegations being made in the comments now. Flexi gets a 3-second time penalty. This battle emerging now being very interesting. As down the inside into turn 11 it goes Slenderman. It looks like he's got the position into turn 12. Round the outside he goes. And yes, he has got the position. Oh no, he hasn't. He's been forced a bit wide there. Out of turn 13 though, he finally has got it. I'm going to look for you now about when ILR1 Xbox is. And that's Flexi and Scuba finally pitting. And that means it's just Seb who hasn't pitted. In fact, he's maintained quite a solid lead ahead of Corey. So those tyres not wearing too much. So that's a lot of speed there for Slenderman. Actually on the wrong person there. Out of turn 2, it's going to be Slenderman ahead. But we've got Archie and Milu Metzvan battling now. It's 9th for Archie in the Williams. Currently 13 laps to go here under the lights in Bahrain. Massive lock up from both the drivers, and Archie is going to in fact get ahead of Milu Metzvan, just going really wide there in the Renault, unfortunately for them. Game Boys overtaking Carriage. GPNT, although Kern could be looking to make a move here through turn 10, and not quite, and we've got a bit of a trend unfolding from 16th to 19th. And just in the background, the Toro Rosso of Massa, Seb making his pit stop at very long last. Game Boys right up the gearbox of Cayman. I believe that's how you pronounce it anyway. Let me know if I'm wrong. As it's going to be nearly 3 wide into turn 14. Bit of a lock-up from the Toro Rosso of Game Boys. That's going to compromise his exit. Now Carriage in the other Red Bull. Both the Red Bulls actually being in a lot of battles today. Cayman moving to the inside. It could be 3 abreast into turn 1. It looks like it will. Oh, and there's contact, and Carriage gets forced wide, managing to keep it out of the barriers. I don't think that was a just time penalty by the stewards, though, as the trainer reshuffles. Cayman's still on top, but we've got Kern. I mean, the Game Boys on top. Now we've got Kern ahead of Carriage. DPNT out of turn 4. We're going to go up to Scuba and Amelia Metzvan, because this chain is also involved in quite a lengthy battle as well. Scuba ahead of Amelia Metz into turn 11. He has got that position, so we'll go back down to this battle here. You can see just how close it is, and watch it unfold from Carriage's perspective. No, we won't. It's a bit further back, but Cayman down the inside of Game Boys. He takes a sniff, but not quite there. And the Renault behind Cayman for now. Although in the out of turn 14, that could all be reshuffled. We've got CR7, he's close behind Lawman, so we'll have to switch up to that in a second. Game Boys going into the pits. Of course, he's on the softer tyres, so that's... should have seen it coming actually. But now the Renault of Kern going round the outside of Cayman into turn 1. Will he get the position on the exit? He will have the inside line, and it looks like he will. Although they're side by side, bit of contact between the Williams and the Renault. Although the Williams will get stuck behind now. We've got Carriage taking a look down the inside of Cayman, and he's got it through. Cayman getting a bit of overset out of turn 4 through turns 5, 6 and 7. Looks like that order's settled down a bit now. That's going to be a compromised exit for Cayman just from that line, unfortunately. Now we'll go up to Slenderman and Brumadinho. These two battling still. Slenderman on the outside into turn 12 of the Red Bull. They're going to be side by side for turn 13, my lucky number. But the Red Bull actually is still side by side, just a hair in it. Into turn 14, Brumadinho will have the inside line on Slenderman, and he's going to try and utilise it, although Slenderman just had the speed on the outside line. And unfortunately for him, it will mean that... but actually Brumadinho staying ahead with the DRS, really helping along that pit straight. What a Grand Prix this has been so far, as XD Archery and Amelia Metzvan are also having a big battle here. We've got Carriage getting ahead of Kern, and then Kern ahead of Carriage, and then Carriage ahead of Kern again. That's what you call a ding-dong battle. Just saw that in the timings at the bottom left there. Still 800 to the second between first and second. So other thing, might have to go up to CR7 and Lawman in just a moment, which would mean pulling away from one of these battles, though that gap does seem to be extending out of turn 13. That's a 5-second time penalty for Mata speeding in the pit lane, and Mata retiring from the session as he crashed into the pit wall. The yellow flags. Have a look at penalties in a second. Slenderman getting a 3-second time penalty as around the outside goes CR7 on Lawmans, who have the inside line for turn 2. Whoever has it better on the exit will get the position. We've also got Mr. Costa in there, so Lawmans losing 2 positions as Costa goes wide. It's going to be Lawmans taking a peek down the inside, but not quite, as Costa tossing in behind. So we'll go up to these in the background and I'll have a quick look at penalties for Corey and Zach. So that is, Cayman has 3 seconds, Flexi has 3 seconds, Mata has 3 seconds, or Flexi also having another 3 seconds. That makes it 6 seconds. Carriage having 3 seconds. Skyzy having 3 seconds. Stop go there for Mata, but he's out. Slenderman has got 3 seconds. So Brumadinho just needs to finish 3 seconds behind Slenderman if he has to. As you can see there, Coreboy also battling it out. So we'll go down to that battle there actually. Got my favourite camera angle here. So Brumadinho just needs to finish within 3 seconds of Slenderman to get that 12th position even. And top 2 within half a second of each other. Down the inside, could we see a move here from Zach? Not quite. But we've got Mr. Costa on CR7 down the inside into turn 1. It looks like he has got the position. The Haas having to sign behind. We can see a switchback move. So the Haas now in a Force India sandwich. So Millie Metz fan ahead of Archie now. So those two also having a ding-dong battle. We've got Ness on CBR7. The switchback could be on for Ness out of turn 4, but not quite. CBR7 having the better exit and defending from the Mercedes for now. That gap beginning to increase again. Now Zach on Corey. So watch this battle now. Neither of the drivers have time penalties, I don't think anyway. If you bear in mind that Flex is 6 seconds worth of time penalties, Archie will probably finish in the points as Flex makes a move on Millie Metz fan. This gap increasing again, but we'll watch CR7 on Mr. Costa. We will have the DRS, ERS and slipstream along the straight. Into turn 1, could we see a move here? Not quite, just 0.2 of a second between the two drivers. On the exit though, could we see a move? Oh, I don't think so, but Zach and Corey, they're also battling it out still. CR7 still behind Mr. Costa as the Millie Metz fan does get back ahead of Flexi. Just keep an eye on this into turn 10, not quite a move here, but the DRS could help him, could help the Haas here make a move into turn 11, all the way up into mode 4, overtake mode, for turn 11 down the inside and not quite got his nose in there, not quite close enough to make a move. Still close enough to be a danger to the Force India. We've got Lawmans, he's actually gaining from this battle. The two drivers slowing each other down by battling. 4/10 of a second, not even that. Into turn 1, I believe we may be seeing a move here from the Haas. We'll have to wait and see, but I think it's very likely with the DRS assistance. For the two drivers in the back, they can see just how close CR7 is. Down the inside into turn 1. Could we see a move here? Zach dropping back behind Corey. We'll go up to these two drivers because you can see. Into turn 4. Could we see a move here from the Ferrari? He's got the switchback move. Has the exit helped him? Corey coming across, nearly contact between the two drivers, but not quite. Just 1/10 of a second between the top two. Now 1/4 of a second. So 5 laps to go. and there's still a lot of the race to unfold. The gap extending into turn 11. We could see a move here. The Ferrari will try and get back to Corey. I think that could be settled for now. 0.4 of a second between the two drivers. I'm not entirely sure when the when ILR Xbox is. They are on Friday evening, I think, actually. Not sure what time, probably 7 or 5:30. Corey having to defend from Zach into turn 1. Zach presenting an imminent danger as Mr. Costa moves to the inside of CR7, and it looks like Mr. Costa has got that position back on the exit, and yeah, CR7 going to have to get back in that Force India sandwich. Now Corey and Zach still battling it out for first position. Neither of them with time penalties, so this is all to play for here in Bahrain as we enter the closing stages of the race. The time is on, the pressure is on for Zach to get that first position. Will he be able to manage it? The gaps further down the grid, still quite close. In fact, this race has been absolutely excellent. The gaps between the drivers being very close and consistent, and some excellent battles have emerged so far in the race. Right now then, CR7 is on top, Corey in second, and Zach in third. Zach's actually 12 points behind Corey, so a finish in first here could really help them. Corey, in fact, where he is right now, he will take the lead in the championship. CR7's way too far back to really gain on him, and Zach out of turn 14, very close. This is the lap we will see a move into turn 1 from Zach. He's got the DRS, ERS and slipstream. He's getting the toe from Corey. Round the outside he goes into turn 1. Corey very defensively to the inside. Switchback manoeuvre from the Ferrari. It looks like he's trying to get it out of turn 2. Will the Ferrari get the position? He's got the better exit. He's got a lot more speed than the Mercedes. Round the outside into turn 4, although the Mercedes better under brakes. The Ferrari still going for that switchback. Zach so close, yet so far from taking the lead here. Zach wants to get the lead to try and close up to Corey in the championships, and also help him get to CR7. He is 13 points behind, and if he takes the win, he could very well move ahead of CR7. Now all depends on where CR7 finishes. As you can see, he's very close behind Mr. Costa. Still a battle for the podiums as there's contact between the two drivers. Heard a bit of a thud, nose to tail there through turn 10. Shows you just how close these drivers get. As Zach, the 38 will not help him through this section here. Corey running slightly wide. Don't think he's got a time penalty. Amazingly, we've only had one DNF so far this Grand Prix. And I believe it's going to stay that way, although customer commentator is an ever-present thing, so what should I say? I don't think Zach's going to be able to make a move now. He's slightly too far back. Last time he was a lot closer, and yeah, he's just not got that room, or there's too much room for him to make a move. Although he has closed up massively under the brakes, he's going to compromise his exit for that gain it on the entry. CR7 and Mr. Costa also very close as we were on the run it towards turn 4. Of course, this calendar almost half length, so every race pretty much counts as double this season. So we'll have to watch that. So every finish, all the points the drivers can get are important. Oh, doubly important, really. So that's why these battles are so close. I can see them now. Now the two Red Bulls of Groomer and Carriage battling. We've got Cowboy and the Slenderman also battling. As around the outside it goes Carriage. for lap 27 of 29. He'll finish ahead of the two Red Bulls. As around the outside into turn 5. Then out of 6 we'll have the inside line, and 7. Although Brumadinho holding on to it into turn 8. Goes carriage down the inside. Can he get the position? It doesn't quite look like it, unfortunately for him. And now we'll move back up to the top, where Zach is going to make a move down at the outside. Corey taking the inside line out of turn 2. There'll be the inside line for the Ferrari, and Zach takes the lead of the Grand Prix for the second last lap this evening. As we've got Mr. Costa's CR7 and Lawman's also in a big train. They look like there could have been contact between the two drivers, the 3 drivers there. Sorry, in the background, so I'm not entirely sure. As Ness gets a 3-second time penalty, Mili Metz moves ahead of Flexi. At this rate, Flexi will finish in 11th, just outside the points, which will be agonising for him due to 6 seconds worth of time penalties. Coreboy also making a move on Slenderman in the background there. Flexi on Mili Metz fan now. As Carriage and Bruma having their ding-dong battle, really swapping places. Out of turn 3, who will get ahead? It's Brumadinho with his nose slightly in front of Carriage, although Carriage getting more speed on the latter part there. Obviously running lower downforce than the teammate Red Bull through turns 5, 6 and 7. Brumadinho yet again ahead, but only just. It sounds like a bit of a lock-up there for the Red Bull. Now we've got Lawmans on CR7. Ooh, that's opened up a bit now as we move towards the final lap of the Grand Prix. Corey behind Zach. This will be close. We've got CR7 making a switchback move on Mr. Costa. No, it's not quite worked because he's touched the rear diffuser of the Force India, and he's not been able to get it swung in quite as perfectly as he wants to. He's got the ERS and Century, but no DRS into turn 4 under brakes. Not quite making a move. And it looks like he's going to have to slot in to third 4 now. So Mr. Costa potentially finishing on the podium now. We'll have to wait how that pans out. Mr. Costa is gaining on these top 2 now, but it's way too late to make up 5 seconds on a lap. In fact, it's impossible really, unless they all crash. There could be a podium for Mr. Costa. CR7 needs to try and get into that podium position. I think if he gets into that podium, he may be able to stay ahead of Zach in the championship standings. In fact, I think he will be able to anyway. Just means Zach will close up a bit. Flexi passing out with Neas. Oh, no, not even that. Scuba was close, but not quite. As across the line goes Zach to take the win here in Bahrain. The fireworks going crazy. Then Mr. Costa takes the podium position, followed by CR7 and Lawman's 3-second time penalty. Another one for Flexi. There goes Seb in 6th. Ness in 7th, crossing the line now, followed by Scuba. Scuba will get ahead because of the time penalty. Flexi finishing just ahead of Mili Metz. In fact, Mili Metz could take a move here out the exit of turn 15, but I don't think it's going to be possible. Anyway, there are the time penalties. Oh, and there's a massive crash! And Flexi almost losing out there. Of course, he had the time penalties, so he was inevitably going to finish just outside the points. We've got Carriage and Brumadinho. Which of the 2 drivers will finish ahead through the final turn? They touch. Oh, and there's a bit of contact, and it looks like Carriage will finish ahead of Brumadinho here. Although, is there time penalties? Yes, there is, and Carriage is going to finish behind Kern as well. We've got the McLaren straddled to the side there after the line. Then we've got Game Boys coming across the line, and the last man to take the checker flag will be Cayman. Across the line then. And it's gonna be Cayman finishing 19th, so that's the winner there. That's first for Zach. What an excellent Grand Prix there. A lot of battles going on all over the place. We've got to see a wide variety of battles from across the track, but it's going to be the Ferrari taking the top step today. The Frenchman. Then on the second step, the Brit of Corey, and the third step, the Portuguese man of Mister. So the finishing order is as follows: Mr. Costa then on third, Zach, then Corey, Mr. Costa, CR7, Lawman, CPI Seb, Scuba, Neas, Amelia Mets fan, Archie, Flexi, Coreboy, Slenderman, Brumadinho, Kern, Carriage, Mr. Sky Z, FC Game Boys, and it came in running off the finishers. Then the single DNF was Matter. Archie happy with that P10 then. I'm going to invite those top 3 to the party. So first it's going to be T1000 Zach. Flexi did not enjoy that, so we'll just get Zach into the party. Hopefully they will understand. We're doing some podium interviews. Then we need Corey, clearly a Lewis Hamilton fan. And finally, Mr. Costa. Sorry, you're going to have to get the blue screen for so long here. Just trying to invite these top 3 to the party. There we go. Hopefully they'll understand who I am. If not, anyway, if you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments down below. I actually had a DRS failure in the final few laps. And if they don't join, we'll just have to end it there. Just give them a few seconds. Maybe they won't be able to join. We'll have to wait and see. Anyway, guys, I think we're going to have to end that there. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that Grand Prix, because I sure did. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.